AI is absolutely taking over our world, and just like any new technology, you have to be able to understand what it is, how it's being used to reduce the risk of you getting scammed by it. What we're going to look at today is two stories that represent the dangers of AI, how it's being utilized to scam people. The two stories that we're going to look at today have victims that are both male and female, but I think that it's important to go over because AI is absolutely blurring what is technology and what is reality with the advancement of some of these communication algorithms. Nevertheless, we must go over it so we can be informed. First story that we're going to go over today is titled, AI Brad Pitt cons woman out of $800,000. Now, this is reported by Vice News. Let's just get into the content. It's not every day that Brad Pitt falls in love with a random woman on the internet and asks for financial support while enduring kidney cancer treatment. Oh, they used cancer too. The nerve of these cowards. It's not any day. Actually, unfortunately, for one French woman who believed the scammer who pretended to be famous heartthrob actor via various AI images of Pitt in a hospital bed. She even divorced her husband and dished out 830,000 euros to help with his cancer treatment. And before we continue on into this, let's just look at a photo of some of these AI images. You know what's crazy about this is that this is not even good AI. Yeah, this is like the Nigerian scammer emails, right? Like they word the emails so incredibly bad in order to increase the chance that a low IQ person would believe them. This is like the same thing. Like the story is so unbelievable and there's so many different ways to cross-reference the reality of this situation. But if they send shitty AI images, it increases the chance to attract a sucker. I mean, in this one, he's got long hair. In this one, he somehow shaved his hair. And then, oh, look, he grew his hair out again. This one's got to be the kicker too, because in some of these AI image generation, you can type in to say, hold up a picture and have it say this. And come on, baby girl. I mean, this one here don't even look like AI. This one just looks like a bad Photoshop job. But this one right here, come on. Who is going to take a picture of Brad Pitt while he's getting the surgery in order to prove to you that he is getting surgery? This is horrendous work. Let's get back into it. The 53-year-old interior designer originally received a message from who she thought was Pitt's mom via Instagram. Then she got another message the next day from none other than Brad Pitt himself, or so she thought. Thus began a digital affair with the two exchanging endless heartfelt messages and poems. Mind you, the interior designer was married at the time. This is what you get, you lying, cheating sack of shit. Anyway, but apparently not happily. In fact, she said that she and her rich husband had been going through a difficult time. So the $800,000 wasn't even yours, it was your rich husband's, which is perhaps why she latched onto the alleged actor. I mean, who better to save you from a failing marriage than Brad Pitt? The absolute ridiculousness of this situation actually reminds me of like OnlyFans girls. You know, there used to be a time period where OnlyFans girls would outsource out to India or something like that the messages within their accounts, right? And that's to increase the amount of people that they can talk to at any given time, right? Those jobs are literally going away, which I guess is good because now you're not just typing to some man off in Bangladesh or some shit like that, but they're going away in lieu of AI because the chatbots are so good now that you cannot discern reality from AI, up until the point of being able to sext with you. Yes, there are so few men who write this kind of thing. I liked the man that I was talking to, the woman said. He knew how to talk to women and it was very well done. Though she had her suspicions about fake Pitt, the victim began to lower her walls and trust the person on the other end of the messages. Once she received photos of him in a hospital bed, she was fully convinced that he was the real deal. Anyway, those shitty AI-generated photos made the woman feel secure enough to send over hundreds of thousands of euros, especially when promised a marriage proposal and other fancy gifts. The poor woman fell in love with Pitt, though he never seemed to be available for a phone call. I wonder what's going through her head is to say, you know, obviously Brad Pitt is one of the wealthiest actors in our generation, right? Like, why would he need 800,000 euros of your money when he has that much money? So ridiculous. But that's what you get for being a lying, cheating, strumpet, harlot 304. Anyway, the intense online romance was enough for her to divorce her husband as well. What's crazy about that is that she probably got a lump sum payoff. The scammer said he too was going through a divorce from Angelina Jolie, of course, which is interesting because I actually think that he was going through a divorce at that time, which probably made the story a lot more believable because he's Brad Pitt, obviously. That's why he couldn't access his own money for the treatments. What a shame. It wasn't until the victim saw the real Pitt with his new girlfriend in the media that she alerted the authorities. She's now being hospitalized with severe depression, the media outlet reported. It's unclear whether she will get any of her money or her husband back. Hopefully she gets neither so she can learn her lesson. Sorry, ma'am, I have no sympathy for your situation of you being set up as a lick. Matter of fact, I think that you should be walked within the public square, for you have brought shame to your family.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
Now, the second story that I have for you guys here today is this lovely young lady whose goal it was to scam men. She uploaded this video to her YouTube channel, PhD Dropout to OnlyFans Model. Interesting title, right? Interesting story, right? Let's just listen to a couple of her words before we continue.
I've dropped out of my PhD. I've cried so much over this decision to quit my PhD, because it's a stressful decision, not that I'm particularly sad about it. I'll get into all of that in a bit later, but moving on to doing OnlyFans and content creation full-time, it's not just a career choice, it feels kind of like a gamble on the direction of my entire life. Some days I wonder if I'm making the right choice. When I open LinkedIn and I see the pages of all of the people who are my age, who already have 3 years into their careers and are climbing the ladder with senior level titles, it stirs something in me. I start to feel a twinge of jealousy, imagining what it would be like in their place. I've spent the last couple of years in grad school, whereas many of my colleagues from undergrad got jobs directly afterwards.
Okay.
So I guess I will always have those advanced degrees with me. But I can't say that I don't like the idea of wearing a polished suit and walking into an office where I have people working with me and working on a project, or even the alternative route of becoming a professor and having students work for me, where I have my own lab and I teach my own course, and the thought of sitting with my team to come up with solutions to a certain problem, or even find something new, learn something new, and then applying that knowledge. And writing papers gives a sense of fulfillment, There's some sort of camaraderie in those environments and a structure that I think I'd enjoy. And of course, not to mention the outfits. I mean, come on. I have so many professional outfits that have never seen the light of day just because I have nowhere to wear them to. And of course, I keep buying them.
I'm not going to play any more of this BS, but you see what she's doing. Catchy title, what seems like an interesting story, and she speaks very eloquently about this decision to go from something as prestigious as a PhD, possibly a future teacher, making a complete 180 into being a sex worker. With all of this bullshit about needing to pay for bills and how she needed the money, yada, 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 whole bunch of scamming shit. But the OnlyFans market is absolutely rife with simps wanting to just give money to these grifting losers. For this woman, whose real name is Mariam Haddad, should also be known as Mia Khalifa 2.0, was exposed 2 years ago where essentially she went public with the exact same grift. Not that it was a PhD student becoming an OnlyFans model, but that she was a Muslim woman who then had to join OnlyFans.
God has assigned me to be the next prophet after Muhammad. He even sent a flying donkey to come take me and talk with him.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
So here goes a picture of her Facebook account, and then you could see her TikTok, where she made the unfortunate mistake of showing her face in the original photo.
God has assigned me to be the next prophet after Muhammad. He even sent a flying donkey to come take me and talk with him. He told me to tell people to pray 420 times. But I told him, we know each other, and I know Hamoudi and Jibril is my best friend, and we play basketball together. So he told me, fine, 69 prayers then. I told him, I like 69, but I still think that's too much. I begged him for hours, praising him with all of his 99 names, and he told me fine. 6 prayers for men and 9 prayers for women.
Okay, now obviously getting up on here with your titties showing, being Muslim, for the audience that she is showing this to is rage bait content, beyond rage bait content. So at this point, I know what you guys are thinking right now. Hey, MTR, it's good that you're exposing her, but what does this have to do with AI? Well, in order to prove that this woman actually has a PhD, she utilizes AI to create these videos. Now, this video right here has 143,000 views where she talks like this.
That decreases the loss function until we reach a minimum. In gradient descent, we move from one point to another by taking small steps in the direction opposite to the gradient, where the gradient represents the steepest ascent in the loss function. So by going in the opposite direction, we reduce the loss. This process is repeated until we converge to a point where the gradient is 0.
Now, if you're a simp, you're probably looking in this region unto which you would be missing. You can see her eyes move as she's reading a teleprompter, one of which she's filled with PhD engineer level content on behalf of AI.
So here's my function, and let's say that I am at this point WT. So this is the value of f at WT. Let me give you a little bit more intuition behind what we're doing.
To further prove that she's reading something, watch how she's writing.
Similar to an elevation contours on a topographic map.
She's writing on a glass screen in front of her. Now, some people look at that and say, well, it's impressive she's actually writing backwards, right? She's writing mirrored. And it could be that, or she's flipped the perspective in the internal settings or controls within her camera in order for it to appear that way. But it begs the questions why. Generally, teachers write behind them. Like, why go through all of that? To prove even further that she's full of shit, I actually went to one of her blog posts and I took all of what is written here and then I inserted it to an AI detector. And the AI detector determined that 92% of the article was written with AI.
And I believe what I just found out. I just found out that lemons are not naturally occurring fruits.
So to conclude, it's a scary world out there. All right. You have to be mindful of different ways that people are going out their way to trick you, to scam you. Now, I don't think or condone that men should be paying for women's OnlyFans, but you might come across a story where someone makes something up and has a GoFundMe attached to it. And you thinking that you're really helping this young lady get through whatever struggle that she's going through. Meanwhile, she's using AI to propagate her lies. Questions, comments, concerns? Y'all already know what to do. Mediocre tutorials and reviews at gmail.com. All right, guys, leave me your comments down below. I want to see what you guys think about this trend in AI and how it's impacting us in reality. Last but not least, join my men's self-development community. We are going absolutely up this year, and I want to bring you guys with me. It's a movement. Link to it down in the description box down below. Click in, beam up, see what's in store, and I will see you soon. Until next time, YouTube, peace.